What's good, Wild Black family? Listen, I want to talk to you about You Had Me at Black. We've partnered with them before. You're about to hear an episode with them shortly. But I want you to know a little bit more about their podcast and go check it out. You Had Me at Black is a storytelling platform and community for folks looking to connect, heal, and liberate. They pass the mic to everyday people to share their true life stories in their own words. You can connect with them by joining their creative community, participating in their live storytelling events, or listening to the podcast on any podcast platform. Wild Black, make sure you go and check out the podcast, You Had Me at Black. Peace.
Black has always been enough. Black is that lift every voice and sing. Black is that letting your freedom ring and resound. Black is adjective, adverb, color, and noun. Black is crown. Black is clean. So to the black is all everlasting. To the black and passing, and to every shade of black in between. As a matter of fact, if your pupils or your eyelashes are black, because I need every human being on this planet to feel applicable. Baby, you so black. Your spirit transcends this physical. Your black is original. You so black. Ooh, you so black. When you smile, the stars come out. Baby, you so black. When you're born, the God comes. 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 The God comes.
Welcome to Wild Black, a seriously opinionated podcast bringing you the real and raw on anything happening Wild Black. If Black culture's there, we're there. If you're pissed or empowered, then let's talk about it. Ride with us on this all Black everything.
Everybody, welcome back to Wild Black. Listen, today's episode is one that it's a little bit different, right? Today is about feelings and emotions and words. It came from this place where on the podcast, we get people who reach out to us all the time now. And they say things like, I'm dealing with the pressure of being a Black parent, and I don't really know how to express myself. I don't know what to say. I have these feelings or these thoughts, and I can't necessarily put them to words. And it got me to thinking, right? That's a huge part of the Black experience. But being Black is so many things. It's exciting. It's unknown. It's passionate. It's scary. There are all these words that I can use to describe what it is. But when I really go inside myself and I think about how it feels, right? How I feel when I see Black folks winning, or how I feel when I see another Black body dropped on TV or social media at the hands of a cop. I don't always have the words. Like sometimes it's just colors, right? It's this strong feeling that I feel deep inside myself, and all I really want to do is scream or cry or celebrate. And today is all about assigning words to those emotions, assigning words to those feelings, right? And trying to become more descriptive in how we exist on a daily basis. And our guest today is someone that as soon as I began thinking about who has the power of words on their side and who wields them like a knife or a weapon in a battle, our guest today is who came to mind. I met her a couple years back at a photo shoot now, and following her work, keeping my eye on what she's doing, she was absolutely perfect for today's episode. So I want to introduce you to Theresa The Songbird. Theresa, welcome to Wild Black.
You applause music, stadium applause.
It's all there. It's all
All
there.
right, I just want to make sure all that's there.
It's all there.
How you doing?
Good. Listen, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Man, I am the magic and hot sauce sprinkling, light of the Most High twinkling, Theresa the Songbird. That's all I can say. I am.
Did you say hot sauce sprinkling?
Yeah. Magic and hot sauce.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sprinkling. That's that real Black girl magic.
So, on Wild Black, we introduce our guest with this game called Wild Black Shit. Are you ready?
No, but yes.
And before we get into our Wild Black shit, allow me to bring you a word from our sponsor, Surfshark. Let's talk about internet security. When you're online, you want to be as safe as possible viewing social media, watching movies, playing games, paying bills, etc. But did you know a lot of the web traffic and your physical locations are being tracked and logged as you use your laptop and your cell phones? Yep, everywhere you go and everything you do. So we want to help you better protect yourself. So we've partnered with Surfshark, a highly secure virtual private network that protects your identity, location, and online data. It can be used on almost every device you connect to the internet. And since we love you all so much, you get an 83% discount plus 3 extra months all for free. Visit the link surfshark.deals/whileblack. Again, that's surfshark.deals/whileblack. Now back to our While Black shit.
While Black shit is always, always, always about connecting our guests to our audience. Many of the folks who sit in the seat that you're in today come in with a lot of experience, a lot of information. And I run through this segment just so that our audience knows these are real, everyday Black folks. You do the same things that they do. And so we're going to jump in. There's 3 questions. You ready for one?
Okay, yes.
All right. Words can be our strongest weapons. And by that definition, we've been blessed with some powerful current and historical warriors, poets. Which has inspired you the most and why? I know it's got to be tough for someone who does what you do.
Yeah, that's a really hard, like the most, that's a lot to put on anything,
A lot of responsibility.
the most.
Yeah.
So I will go with the most recent inspiration because that's what I do.
All right,
Like, that's real Black stuff, right? That's real Black shit right there. Ask me one question, I'm going to answer a different question.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hijack your question, answer the question I want to answer.
This is your show.
Being that I did, recently I did Black Music Honors.
Right.
And they had me posthumously honor this artist. So I had to really kind of like sit with his work,
right,
sit with his life, sit with his intentions for life for a couple of weeks prior to writing and prior to performing the poem. Right. So I'm going to say most recently, Earl Darkman X Simmons.
Okay.
Because that's a interesting, blessed, hard, witnessing testimonial of a life to have lived.
Words with impact. He's man. On that list.
And like real in these streets, like on a real, like on some like Jesus Christ skin in the game level. Like when he was in the streets, the people who needed to be touched, the people who needed to be impacted were impacted.
Yeah. Hearing that brother speak poetry, to rap, to pray, you feel everything he does. It's a shame that he had to be gone to be revered the way he is now. It's truly a shame that we do that in this society. But honest, you're right. 100% honest. All right, you ready for question 2?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play this game that I call That Damn Sure Is Black Culture. And I got 3 questions for you, open-ended questions. I want your answers. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Name me 2 things you can find at every Black church.
Oh, see, I'm old. So, like, I'll go to old Black church. It's going to be like church fans and them communion crackers.
Oh, and church fans sponsored by the local funeral home.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to go.
They ain't never updated them pictures. It's the same suspiciously light-skinned, very, very well-groomed, but like the edges, you don't never really see the whole definition of the family on the fan. You know what I mean? Like somebody turned the filter way up on the family. Like you don't see no defined edges.
Mm-hmm. Smooth skin everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At every, and I mean every Black family get-together, there's always one room. And in that one room is what?
White furniture.
Might have some plastic on it.
Right, and you're not allowed to go in that one room.
Might have some plastic on it. That's a good answer. I wouldn't even. I was thinking along the lines of a room with coats on the bed. But you're right. There's damn sure that one living room where you can't even go in there and play.
Right.
All right. Last question. You're at Big Mama's house. You open the refrigerator and you see a small grocery bag tied with a small knot. What's in that bag?
I'm going to go for none of my business.
It's not a bad answer.
That is none of my business.
That is not a bad answer. Also, see, as an artist, I already see you think differently. Because that's not, I went to the bag of cornmeal for the catfish, flour for the chicken.
This what I'm saying. Like if if I am in my big mama's kitchen, if I am in my big mama's refrigerator, it's because she said, go on in there and look on that plate in the back.
You're right. It ain't
I'm
your
not
business.
studying the miscellaneous bags and the cracker. What is it? The I wish it was butter. You know what I'm talking about?
Crock
Yeah,
joint.
the country
In the
crock and all of that.
container.
All of them miscellaneous containers filled with all type of chicken grease and
She said it's not
old
my
lima
business.
beans from last week. I'm not going to none of them send-off containers. I'm going right where my grandma told me to go. And I ain't got to worry about what's in the bag.
Had the Black community listened to you, be a lot less ass whooping.
Man, look,
Yeah,
I learned that early in life. Early in life. You got to
Absolutely.
avoid the switch at all costs.
Yeah, what you know about the switch?
Nothing. The first time I was supposed to get whooped. Look, you know, I'm from Chicago. Both of my parents are from Mississippi. So they would send, that's old school, right? They send your children
And I'm from
to
Mississippi, and all my family's from Chicago.
So you know how it go. They send all the cousins down every summer. Like the whole summer. Everybody be in one house together. So the first time my grandmama called herself in and whooped me, she was like, go outside and get a switch. I'm just outside.
You ain't come back in?
Just lost. Ain't nothing worse than making a grown Black person even more angry than they already are. So now she mad as hell because she done had to come outside and get the switch herself. I think that might have been like the first and last whooping I ever got from my grandma. Just from the amount of work she had to put into giving it to me.
You've been smart a long time. I see that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got this grandma thing figured out. I got my ass toe up often. Very often.
No, I was a good kid, though.
Mama, dad, grandma, they
To my
all got
grandmama,
me.
I was a good kid.
All right, our third and signature question. What do you love most about life while Black?
We just so jazzy, man. Like, it could be the worst. You know what I mean? Like, the worst possible moment. The worst possible situation. There's going to be one Black person that cracks the most inappropriate joke at that moment. You know what I mean? Like, if the occasion is to don't let Black people get a call to arms to dress up to go somewhere. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Ain't nothing better on the planet Earth than telling Black people, all right, y'all, we finna do denim and pearls. Oh, word. Dudes is going to the grill, man, to get pearl inlays put in they gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just so jazzy. We just so great at putting 100 on 10. We just so great at taking something super regular and making it just so unnecessarily extra.
Unnecessarily extra. That should be Black folks' theme, motto, theme song, all that.
We just are inherently inventive.
As soon as you
know
said
what
that,
I mean?
it made me think back to, I was at church, Charlotte, North Carolina. I think the church I was visiting might have been St. Paul Missionary Baptist. Anyway, I went on blue jean jacket or something day, and when I tell you, everybody in there from
it wasn't no
pastor,
Levi's up in there, I tell you that.
Hey, man, they was bedazzled. They had faces. They had airbrushed names. They went hard on it.
They took them denims to the bed to Dapper Dan. He done inlaid the Gucci print.
We do everything
to the most.
That's
and
it.
I love that. I love that
it to
about
death.
us. And I think that speaks bounds to us. It is a royal behavior everywhere, at every level of humanity.
Yeah.
Whether you are in the penthouse, in the boardroom, or whether you in the trap on the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of us find a way to like shine.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? At the worst, even in our worst, we find a way to shine, shawty. Even if it ain't nothing but putting a little shea butter in our little rusty elbows. We be out here, ooh, you see me? You see these elbows?
That's so spot on. All right, you ready for the dope quote?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to read a quote, tell you who it's from, and then get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Today's dope quote says, poetry is like air. It's one of those necessary things. Everyone benefits from poetry. And as you know, poetry is international. There are only two things that are truly international. That's poetry and wine by Nikki Giovanni. When you hear that, what do you think?
First of all, shout out to Sora, Nikki Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
I do think poetry is like air in that everybody can do it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it is, so like, to me, air is a very special thing, right? It is the thing that separates you from living and not living, right? It is the divine activation of your godly manifestation of your spiritual self. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You got to go there sometimes.
Up
like
until
really,
a moment
like
ago, air was wind.
No,
now I'm deep. Now I'm ready.
Like genuinely, you think about it, like on a real level. Like you don't think about breathing, and if you had to think about breathing, you'd be hospitalized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you'd have to be, and you'd be hospitalized until you went through enough physical therapy to train your body to breathe again functionally on its own. So first of all, to have the ability to do that, to breathe without thinking about it. Right. And to do all the other things that the body does. Understanding that if you stop breathing, there is no more you.
Everything else ceases.
And that function happens automatically.
Right.
Like that is a divine ability that's placed in you. Because there's somebody with, I don't have asthma, but there's somebody with asthma. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody with bronchitis. There's somebody who got allergies. So, you know what I'm saying? There's people who have real issues keeping their breath. And then to know that you got this air. There's so many ways, you know what I'm saying? We could all be, there could be more water than air on this planet, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not only that, it's set up in such a way that air is always filtered, cleaned, and made readily available in a perfect system that we all get to occupy. Like, just breaking down the notes. So I guess, yes, like poetry is like air. And that, like, when I think about poetry, that's how I break it down. I think about all of it, not just like the ornamental putting together of the word, but like really how it functions in its whole nature. Because I don't think people really get a full scope of anything. You know what I mean? We're all walking around here with our own point of view of how the world works. So I think it's nice to be able to take full stock in all of that and kind of present people with the whole picture. In a way that they find interesting or educational or entertaining, because then it's retained.
I think that's interesting, right? Because you just call air the great divide, basically, right? Air is what divides us from the living and non-living state. Air is essential.
Yes.
And air is underappreciated.
Yes, because we out here just throwing, I don't even want to get into, like, I'm a real life conservationist, green, like, I believe in the planet. I believe we were sitting here to do good things for the planet. So I'm not going to go ham. But black people, y'all need to be recycling. Y'all need to be recycling, black people. This is ridiculous. The amount of aluminum cans in the regular garbage got my nerves bad in the hood. It don't take nothing to get you a separate garbage bag. Put the aluminum cans in that. Give them, if you don't want to recycle them yourself, collect them for the homeless people in your neighborhood so they can cash them out. But we got to do better. We keep making babies. We keep making more human beings. We keep making more garbage. Don't nobody care about where the garbage go. But in a minute, it's going to be a whole continent of garbage. We are going to create a whole ecosystem of new age species of animals that only feed off of the garbage that we have been, like, people don't, you know what I'm saying? Humanity's smart, but we dumb, but we smart. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get into all of that. We gotta do better.
They don't care about the trash until it's next door to them.
All y'all got to do is recycle a little bit.
All right. Okay, back to poetry.
Yes.
Very simple question. Or not, right? I'm learning. This might not be a simple question. I'm learning. What is poetry? Because it's not just a series of words that rhyme. I know that. And hearing you break down air, I know there's got to be something amazing behind
okay,
your
so like there is a divide amongst, because I write poems, right? I also get up on stage and recite poems.
Right.
I do not use my book to recite said poems.
Never?
Almost rarely.
I'd be in trouble.
Rarely do I use my book. Because rarely do I use my book.
Excuse me, I got to turn to page 19. Hold on.
So amongst like the poetry community, there's like this divide of what is poetry versus what is spoken word, right? And because I fall more into the quote unquote spoken word category, I always say that spoken word is the forethought and the time to consider the delivery of the poem. You understand what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to write a poem is writing poetry.
Right.
I am not here to qualify your poetry. I think it's important that people write, and however they get out their thoughts is a necessity because it's part of therapy, it's part of trauma healing, it's part of intentional metaphysical work.
Right.
You know, so I'm not going to rob anybody of what is special to them in their poetry. Sometimes it's nice to have some literary some literary prompts in your poems, metaphors, some similes, some things like that, you know, but I'm not here to tell anybody their poems are good or bad. But like in the realm of, it's all poetry as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
It's all poetry.
All right, so we've talked about what poetry is. We've talked about how you got started. I want the people to hear a little bit from you. And we're here today to talk about the transition from emotion to word, right? So one of the first things that I actually want to go to, and I'm going to flip it a little bit because I loved your Wild Black answer of, you're just so jazzy, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go there first. When I think of the fact that we are jazzy as a people, right? What is your interpretation of what that means? Do you have a piece that speaks to that?
That's such an elusive question. You already know what piece you want to hear. That's ridiculous. You should just ask for what you want in life, sir. You should be like, I know the piece I want to talk about.
I do indeed.
Yeah. I do have a piece. So the piece that he's referring to is You So Black. I know that for a fact because that's how everybody knows me. And I'm not mad about that. I'm super grateful.
Because it blew up and it had such an impact on people and garnered such a response.
I know, right?
Did you expect it to do that?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's just so damn powerful and it's so relatable. It feels like me. Like that's what I feel like. I mean, it's a great example to say when I don't have the words to tell people, like that piece does it. And it's not just, it's like me and everything that I am and everyone that I'm connected to. Let me shut up. Because my words ain't nearly as powerful. I'm just going to be quiet.
You so black. You so black. When you smile, the stars come out. You so black. When you born, the God come out. Black as night. Black as dirt. Black as a boot. Black as a hearse. Black to earth. Black at last and black at first. Black unrehearsed. Black unrequested, black unrequited, black ill-invested, black interested, black entertained, black in something special, baby, black just the same, black like your mamas and black like your daddies, black like you want me and black like you could never have me, black and inconvenient, black with the burden of proof, black until proven innocent, black with the built-in truth, black and blue, black and substance abused, black with lead in my water, black with hands up, don't shoot, black in a subpar school, black and pipeline to prison, black single mothers with children, black and tired of the division of being black and poor, black and broke, black and bleeding, black before black was needing social media, black as bland, black to Africa and black again, black as Angela and Asada, black as Betty and Coretta's sons and daughters, black as pyramids and mathematics. Black is melanized and magic. Black is televised in the need of drastic black advancement. Black enhances, black with chances, black with privilege, black with pride, black on purpose, on the black hand side, black and beautiful. Black and blessed, black and so much more, black and nothing less, black and educated, black and dangerous. I don't know if y'all knew this, but those blacks with education be the most dangerous because black is brilliant, black is strong, black is resilient, black is song, black is infinite like hip hop or space, black is grace, black is love, black makes babies, black babies grow up, black is tough, black is hard to do, black is me. Black is you. Black is not something that we get to choose, but it is something that we get to cherish. Something that we get to wear, and we get to rock this with honor. So I'm black like my granddaddy and my great-great-great-great-great-grandmama. Back to the black farmer of black soil and black seed, black as you need, black as you breathe, black as you believe, black as you love, black is all of the above, black has always been enough, black is that lift every voice and sing, black is that letting your freedom ring and resound, black is adjective, adverb, color, and noun, black is crown, black is clean. So to the black is all everlasting. To the black and passing, and to every shade of black in between. As a matter of fact, if your pupils or your eyelashes are black, because I need every human being on this planet to feel applicable. Baby, you so black. Your spirit transcends this physical. Your black is original. You so black. Ooh, you so black when you smile. The stars come out. Baby, you so black when you're born. The God come out.
Every time I hear that piece, I can't help but smile. I cannot help but smile and sway and think and dream and remember and pray every single time. And it's damn near embarrassing to say it in front of you. I couldn't tell you how many times I've listened to that piece.
Good.
And I mean multiple times.
Good.
Multiple times. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I knew I was missing in my lineup of like, in my arsenal of poems that I was performing in the world. I knew I was missing that like rallying cry for my people. I just needed like that whole concept of like every color in the rainbow, like all together making blackness and like the understanding for me that like, out of darkness, all things are born. Out of the black, all came to exist. So I really wanted like a poem that reflected that black is in everything.
Right.
Even like the colloquialisms, you know, that we use. That whole, black is a boot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To be blackmailed. You know what I mean? Even to have your black card revoked, like all of these notions. And like Black Friday, there were all of these ideas that came flooding in at once. And I was just like, we're just going to write a poem about all of it.
How long did it take? How difficult was it?
Oh, nothing is difficult.
I mean, because I listened to every word. And I mean, every word seems so true. It sounds so obvious. Yet I know if I were to sit down and try to craft something like that,
a couple of days.
After Black Don't Crack, I'm done. It's probably, I need somebody else to give me a new line. It's over.
Yeah, it took me a couple of days. There was some stuff I wanted to, I don't want to say stay away from, but I wanted to stay uplifting. Because like as you hear, like it's a difference between the full poem and the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And part of that was that like I knew if I only get to do 2 minutes, I want to give the best intentions and feelings to my people, right? And like we all know where we've been.
Right.
You know, we know about our history. Like if you read a book or, you know, Googled a little bit of something somewhere, you know, like we know where we've been.
Right.
We carry our scars. We carry our stories through our families and stuff. It's the where we're going that needs to have the trajectory dialed in a little more precisely.
Right.
And I think, you know, love is the healer. For me, love is the magic key.
Right.
So if you love yourself, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you.
That's so true. All right, so you talked about love. You brought up the emotion love. And I want to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about a related emotion, hate, right? Not the opposite, but a related emotion, hate or disdain. And the reason I want to talk about that particular topic and see if you have anything that speaks to those negative feelings is because another of the questions that comes our way is, how do I continue to consume the murder and the abuse of people who share my hue? Right? We get this question a lot, and people feel like there's a responsibility to continually digest what's happening. And on one hand, I understand it, right? I want to watch what's happening because I want to empathize with the family. I want to share in their pain. and I want to work towards a healing and a betterment, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so right. Black people be hella trauma bonded, man. We be hella trauma bonded.
True.
I think every Black child's life is of value. I think every mother who has love for their child, that love is of value, right?
Right.
But if I spend every day on my phone, taking in every moment
right.
of every Black person,
there's a hell of an effect.
Let's get even more humane than that.
Right.
Of every human being on this planet that is dealing with a serious transgression, I would never leave my house.
Yeah. You be in a bad place.
Right?
Yeah.
So like this notion of what you gonna hold on to, these grudges, these notions of what really matters, you know, like hate is an excellent alarm signal to a level of immaturity coming to surface.
I like how you put that. Hate is an alarm to immaturity surfacing.
Right.
Write that down.
Because there's so many other ways. Because the fact of the matter is, you feel a way, you might feel frustration, you might want a person's behavior to change, or you might need for your behavior to change. Another good point of hate is that's a good one. Hate is the ego refusing to break.
Because me taking notes of this.
Yeah, man, hate is the ego refusing to break. Because in order for you, because like you were really supposed to be like the real God body energy, right? Should be able to find a place of compassion,
right?
Of understanding. It's on both sides. Like, you know, you think specifically about racism, right? On both sides, right? Like as a God body, as a entity that's sent here to be a source of love and a resource to humanity. If I have a contention with you, I should be able to sit and listen. And if I disagree, I should be able to say that I disagree and why I disagree. And if we can't come to an understanding, we should be able to get up from that table, understanding that we at an impasse, and that's just it. And we can still respect each other. You know what I mean? Right. But that level, that hate keeps you from being able to be respectable.
Right.
The hate keeps you from being able to move forward in a balanced state. You know what I mean?
Well, you on here life coaching today. Keep it going.
Life too short. It's so stressful. It takes so much. It make your hair gray. It make your skin wrinkly. It make your sphincter tight. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it's just no good for the body. It's no good for the body.
And it's that behavior in itself that is causing us so much trouble coping, right? Because it recirculates, right? When you put that hate out, it continues to come back.
Not only that, but it also seeds itself within you.
Yeah.
You can't harbor hate for someone else without harboring hate internally. 100%. So eventually it is going to show up in how you treat yourself, how you treat the things you supposedly love.
Yeah. It's a great point.
So you have to be, cognizant of all of that. Like, not to say that it's not a valid emotion. It is a valid emotion, but it should be valid to be a warning signal. If I'm using the word hate, then I'm also like, there's a level of immaturity in my spirit that is active right now.
Right.
So I need to deal with me in the most mature, kind way possible so I can move from the emotion of hate and really label my emotion or how I'm feeling properly, what the problem is properly. Because hate is just like, I'm mad at what's going on. But why are you mad?
To be working on a solve. I love it. Do you talk about that emotion at all?
Okay, so yeah, this is a good one, right? Not necessarily about hate, but like about the process.
Right. Which I think from your description is much more important than the emotion itself. What do you do with it?
Yeah, because it's all life. And kind of also back to like air, right?
Yeah.
Necessary nuance. Bobbles in your path, pebbles in your shoe, gaps of air in your breathing tubes, jerking at the center of your being, the friend you always appreciate leaving because they don't stay very long. Hiccups. They make you strong. They toughen the lungs. They strengthen the diaphragm. They're tenacious and stifling, forces you to focus on how you speak and how you act, bring you back to reality just when you thought you had everything. These next few moments take all of your concentration, the unsuspecting spaces in the making of the places where you know it's supposed to flow. Hiccups force you to grow the hell up. Faster than you expected, sooner than you desired. They remind you of how you've neglected your small, eternal fire, so quickly snuffed out and reignited and snuffed out, and then it's like it never even happened. Somehow you're still intact. In fact, you're a little bit taller, walking with a longer stride, a bit more fire in your eyes, gratitude in your attitude for God, grabbing you and snapping you back into position, removing the ease in your most primary provision, priming your pumps and resetting your system, clarifies for you what is from what isn't. It's the Kung Fu master exposing the flaws in your technique, coaxing you to be more Kal-El than Kent, less oblivious in your intent, more aware of the air in the atmosphere, more prepared for the snares, the traps, and spears because they're there, disguised to the naked eye. But they appear from time to time. They hurt, they tear, and then they subside. Once you find a way to ride the wave, you'll come out on the other side okay. Baby, it's just a hiccup.
Your ability to construct a sentence and convey a vision is simply amazing. Just listening to you compare all of that to a hiccup and then give like actionable information about how you process.
Well, to me, a hiccup is an actionable thing because you know, like for real, do you know that a hiccup is truly a necessary bodily function?
Mm-hmm.
In a child, it is the thing that forces the diaphragm to become strong enough to allow you to do things like breathe and sneeze and laugh and cough.
So we're automatically back to the hiccups in your life making it possible for you to breathe and consume the air that we started talking about.
Exactly. They hurt. And the older you get, oh my God. Oh my God, it feels like somebody is trying to snatch your lungs off from between a crack in the middle of your eye. I don't understand what that's about. And as much as they hurt in your grown-up years, you be looking at children like, you can just let that happen and keep on rolling? I gotta lay down somewhere after these hiccups. But you do understand, like, but it really does. Because they don't happen as frequently as when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are much more aware of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's the same with whatever that thing is that comes up in your life. Once you start handling things, when stuff comes up that's difficult to handle, you are much more aware of it.
Right.
And sometimes it can take all of you if you don't have the right place to put it, if you don't know how to understand that it's really all just part of the process.
Right.
There are no downfalls. It's all just moments and lessons and preparation. And I know that shit is hard to hear when you are broke,
but
when you are grieving,
right.
when everything seems like it is going wrong, all of that. Like I get it because I have been in those positions, but I've also seen the magnanimous grace. You know what I mean? I done seen God show up and do the stanky leg in my life. For real. So like,
that's a hell of an image.
Man, look. Like, for real.
God doing a stanky.
So, and I understand from that aspect, like, it's all joy. It's all blessings. It's all meant for your greater good. Even the stuff that hurts, that's stupid, that sucks. It might take 10 years for you to get closure and a real understanding on it. But I promise you, just focus, live in your purpose, move in your joy. Mm-hmm. It's going to be all right.
It's so true. You typically, you can't see it until you're through it. Like,
right.
You can't see it until you look back.
Man, hindsight is the best sight.
Yep. I mean, even and I say this with all respect, even as rough as COVID has been for all of us, right? I've lost family members and loved ones. But today, as I sit here, I can look back at it, and while I do miss them, I also see all kind of blessings that came out of that, right?
Yeah.
The relationship with my immediate family, my ability to stay home and see my kids grow in a way that I would not have been able to see before. Like, there are so many things that are positive that come from the worst moments of our lives. I can remember my father dying, and things that crushed me in the moment caused me to cry in the shower when I was alone. Now I look back upon and I find a piece of strength from that.
Right.
So true. All right, so a related emotion is love. You brought that up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So the question we get here often is related to an ability to love. And oddly enough, right, we talked about this, but the place I've seen this question come from the most, and you don't have to be this specific in your piece, is men, right? Cisgendered, straight men wanting to better understand how they convey their love for other cisgendered, straight men is a question that we get often. And it came directly because we did an episode on love, and specifically non-romantic love, and had the conversation about men being able to tell other men, I love you. So, in that vein, love in general.
I think love languages is interesting, right? I have a dad who doesn't like to talk a lot.
Right.
So, and I use words for a living, right? So I have this odd juxtaposition. I like to hear I love you,
right,
but that don't mean shit to me.
Right. Action.
I got to see it.
Right.
I got to feel it.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? I done grew my whole life. The man who loves me most in the world, I can count on one hand
the number of times he told
in my whole life he's used the words, I love you.
But how often?
Man, every moment. My dad has it timed. My dad cooks all the meals in our family, right? So we drive hours to come home. I don't know how he does it. We could get home 2 o'clock, 2 a.m.,
it's hot
4 a.m. Hot, just coming off the stove.
Hey, that's black man magic.
Always. You know what I'm saying? My dad, I'm a vegetarian now, right?
Right.
But, you know, I wasn't
me too,
always.
Except for the chicken.
Right. Well, and the other,
beef.
and all the other meats. Yeah. But for me, it's like a real thing, right? But my dad is like you. He eats all the meats. But his love language is feeding, right?
Right.
So when I was coming home, my diet was changing. I wasn't eating his food.
He didn't know how to put that love in you in the moment. I bet that was actually frustrating for him.
Oh man, he didn't care for that.
He had to figure that out.
He done made my favorite meal and I'm not eating none of it because it's got the meat in it. Oh, no.
Real talk, that's a hurtful place, right? When you take that time to invest in someone the way you do and it's rejected, even if it's rejected for great reasons, that's something to struggle with. Sorry.
Yeah. So the next trip I made home, like my thing is like spaghetti, right? Mm-hmm. And so the next trip I made home, he was like, I got another pot of spaghetti in there for you. It ain't got no meat in it. Never looked at me while he said any of this because that's not how we work, right? But like, I understood then. Like, my daddy know I don't like raisins, but my dad loves oatmeal raisin cookies. Mm-hmm. But he knows I hate raisins so much that I will take his oatmeal raisin cookies and stand over the garbage can and eat the cookie. And he hates it. He hates to hear them raisins hit the garbage can while I stand over them because I'm like, I'm not finna get an extra napkin into one cookie. But pop. So instead, he'll make his cookies and then he'll make me my own batch with cranberries instead of the raisins. You know what I mean? There is a different love language. So with that, I say, like, especially for Black men, I think qualifying how you deal with each other according to the rules that apply to the rest of Black women and Caucasian America, ain't none of that gonna work for y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all is gonna be, hey, what's good, my boy?
Yep.
That's gonna be the most love you get from from your homie.
Yep.
But that's all you need.
Bro. You
know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes y'all just need to be seen. Sometimes y'all just need to be in a position where, like, there is elder, spiritual, barbershop access. I think that's big for Black men.
Right.
I think every Black man needs to have a couple of Black men that are at least 10 years ahead of them in the game with their head on straight.
I agree.
Because there are times when Black men are crippled in their relationships. And, you know, Black women, we want to save everything.
Right.
We always want to come with a solution. And that doesn't always work for a Black man. You know what I mean? Because y'all got to deal with yourselves. You got to deal with your manhood and your respectability and all of these other, it's just so many things. And I think it is helpful for Black men to have that safe space with whatever they're thinking about, where they're not gonna get laughed out of a room or have their emotions devalued, because of what they feeling isn't comfortable for everyone there.
Right.
I do have one poem.
I know you do.
Yeah, I wrote a song I like to hear.
I know you do.
It's not necessarily, I wrote it from my place, because I'm a woman, right?
Right.
But it is for Black men.
Talk to him.
To my sons that's yet to come. Young cousins, slave brothers, and nephews, I pray this affects you. My effort to rescue. My effort to reach. I gotta put aside my ego. I can't be your superhero. There are some things only a Black man can teach a young Black man waiting to be. Like how to be a man. Like how to fight. Like how to look fear square in the eyes, hold his nuts, and piss standing up. How to drive stick and talk shit and turn his little dick into a bad decision. How to maneuver and manipulate women, talking about bros before hoes. Talking about no hoe can be wifey. Man, that wife thing be lifey, but that flighty one night delight left stripes on early prediction litmus, left morning sickness, and living witness to the lessons given to some little men waiting to be. The things their older cousins and daddies and uncles practice and preach, like how to hold a bottle of beer, how to hold back genuine tears, hold your liquor and your chick, clean your gun and your Air Force Ones, line up sights, shoot wrong, shoot right, shoot twice, watch the life drift from the white of his eyes, jump shots, jump fences, jump cars, sit up straight at the end of the bar, conceal when it's hard, stay real with them paws, and most of all, never let your pockets get on Atkins, low carb, can't starve, gotta eat, gotta know how to treat these niggas out here in these streets, keep your back to the wall and your fist near your jaws, ain't no pinching for paws, better find you some balls, little man, better find you some heart, little man, cause before they can call you a man, this world will tear you apart, little man, what are you smiling for? Smiles are for women and children. Ain't no nigga smiling in prison cause the folk around you keep on living without you or with you. So cop your fistful and your pistol. Let your mental be your missile. Let these bullshit niggas miss you cause this world is out to get you. You better get you some of it while you got some go forgetting. And don't you go forgetting what you learn while you earn your war wound. Stepping out the front door is stepping into the war room. You better learn to stand the sight of your own blood, the smell of your own spit, cause when it all falls apart, ain't none of your homeboys or no chick gonna be there to help you deal with the aftermath. Man, you got no plan, you got no purpose. A nigga with no hustle is worthless. But it's little dummies that go searching for courage and they end up getting murdered. The further we get away from this type of living, the better. Because ain't nothing about it beautiful. I mean, ain't y'all sick of pouring juice for the youth and vodka for the partners and black suits and funerals? Homies gone too soon. Baby mama and junior posted up in the front pew. Little dude to grow up to act like a man, like a dad he never even knew. So little man, take advantage of the lessons you get told. These fools want to steal your life in this world, want to take your soul. It's up to you to protect them both, to practice your actions and tailor your speech so you don't end up another casualty of these streets, another sucker to the system, another product of condition, another panting Pavlov's dog when you are really a man of God. Little man, that's what you are.
Let your mental be your missile. When you write, in my head, I see you writing and I see reference material everywhere. Where does all this come from? I was listening to the things you were referencing in there, right? And a lot of that, like you mentioned Pavlov, there's things that everyday people walking around just don't know, right? People aren't having conversations about the kind of things that you're talking about and the way that you're talking about. And when you talked about the pregnancy test and the way that you did, like, where is this coming from? Like, how are you putting this together? Is there a magic pill that I can take? Like, how does this work?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I do know that I am witty with the wordplay. I am aware of that. I am aware of that.
And it's beyond witty, right? It's obvious hearing your work and talking to you that not only are you good with writing words, but you've got to be consuming. Right? You've got to be a reader or listening to a book or something. You've got to be allowing this education, this information to get into your body someplace, somewhere, somehow.
I
You just can't walk around knowing this shit. Like, how are you doing this?
I read a lot. I used to read more. I haven't been doing much reading. Early in quarantine, I was reading a book by Octavia Butler, and it scared the shit out of me, and I could only get halfway through it.
What's it called?
Dawn. I already read Dawn. I was in the middle of reading Wild Seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I was in the middle of reading because it's split into 2 books.
Right.
So I read the first half. I read book 1 of Wild Seed.
Right.
Messed me up. I couldn't, like, it was too much.
Right.
And if there's any, Octavia Butler fans, then you understand. Like, she does sci-fi, but it's in a very, like, visceral, dealing with traveling back in time. Like, traveling back to slavery is a thing.
Right. I just saw a book by her the other day that I wanted to. I haven't read anything by her, and I just saw one that I wanted to dig into. So it's interesting that you brought her up.
Yeah,
maybe that's my sign.
She's gangster, but like I prior to that, I like reading. I'm not a big on just like fiction for the sake of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters and my aunt, they love that type of stuff.
Right.
But I'm more like, I have to be guided to want to know if I am reading fiction, it has to take me someplace kind of specific in the extra kind of information that I'm trying to get from the world in general. And I like getting what I got from Octavia Butler. When I was younger, I read a lot of like Toni Morrison.
Right.
A lot of, when I was like 14, I think I read
all jokes aside, I can feel that come through because Toni has a very unique way of telling you a story.
Oh man, not only that,
so much in there.
Yes, so I read Toni Morrison in college. I took a class with the only one of the 2 Black professors on campus. I didn't even need the class. I took the class because she was a Black professor, and it was an English class, and they was teaching Toni Morrison. So I just took the extra class because I could. But just to be able to learn about like how Toni Morrison embeds African religion and spirituality, like, and this very unique subtext in multiple stories of hers.
Yeah.
And it gives me an understanding, because I'm different. I like I believe in all of the wonders of the universe. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm a Christian. I pray to Jesus Christ and all those wonderful things.
Right.
But I also believe like in the magic of the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and looking at the power of metaphysics and thought becoming things, there are ways to implement subconscious awakenings into people.
Right.
And I like that I can kind of use that skill set to my advantage.
You use the shit out of it.
I'm trying.
It's amazing. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm being like, for real, it's amazing. It's obvious. Listening to you talk, one of my favorite things to read has always been Dr. Martin Luther King's Letters from a Birmingham Jail.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons that piece has always been so powerful to me is when you read it, it's smart, right? It makes a lot of sense. But then when you read it with the context that he wrote that inside of a jail cell with no reference material available, right? He wrote that with his fingers in his mind. It makes you respect him on a different level. And hearing you go through all, that's why I asked you the question, like when you're writing, are you sitting there with encyclopedias, showing my age, right? Are you sitting there with encyclopedias and history books? And like, is there a guide to like witty things to say in a poem to make people think for dummies, right? Like, how are you doing that?
No, I just say, I was doing a writing workshop with one of my songwriting homegirls. And I was telling her.
You write songs too?
I do everything. I do more than write songs, but that's a whole nother interview. But as we were talking about it, I was explaining to her that, there's going to come a time as you're writing, there should come a moment where you chuckle. If you can make yourself chuckle,
mm-hmm.
If you can make yourself impressed on paper, then you're in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And normally that's what's happening for me. Is like, as I'm writing something, as I have an idea, I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's dope as hell. Ain't nobody thought to say this like this right here. And then it works. Like, I already know if it's going to be funny to me, It should be funny to everybody else. If it's poignant to me, it should be poignant to everyone else. If it doesn't make sense to me, it probably is not going to make sense to everyone else. And you should rethink how you gonna say this line.
I'm looking at the time. I'm trying to figure out how in the hell to get all this in here because we got
There's so much, right? And I'm so talkative.
But this is exactly what I wanted, right? When before we started, I told you this would be different, right? I wanted to be some of your words and some of your art and some context and conversation, and like the part between is probably the most golden to me, right? The words are, you're on this show, so listeners expect that the words you're going to give to them are going to be impactful. But what they don't expect is the context that you're going to provide about the words, right?
Right, yeah.
The shell that encases the words from you is equally as powerful. And I think that's going to be the part that's surprising to people because, again, they're going to expect you to be a dope poet because we've asked you to the show because you're a dope poet. So this is exactly what I wanted to see happen. But you talked about writing pieces that make you chuckle, that you know are going to be strong or going to hit before you ever perform them anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know this is probably an unfair question. No, I'm going to ask it in the way that I think is fair.
Okay.
For you today, right now, you've got a show coming up. You're getting ready to be in Baltimore, performing in front of people very shortly. And in all honesty, this might air after that. I don't even know yet. But in that particular show, or anyone that you do in this general vicinity of time, what's the piece that you love to perform and why? And then can you perform it for us?
I think the piece that I do love the most, in all honesty, is You So Black. Y'all have already heard it today. Because it is, like, powerful, you know?
So true.
It's powerful. There's times when I perform it and, like, I be so welled up with emotion myself. Like, especially if, like, I'm doing a big, like, African festival and it's a live and it's all these Black people looking at you. It just gets... You can feel the ancestors in the space, you know what I mean? So it's always You So Black.
All right.
Always You So Black. It'll probably be that till the end of time.
It's so powerful.
And then whenever else I'm in a room, it is, you know, the audience kind of tells me what we're doing. The energy, it makes promoters so angry. It makes producers so angry with me. Because they always want to know. They want to know what my set list is. The band is like, send us music in advance. And I'm like, I'm not finna send y'all. Even if I want to sing songs that I cover, I don't want to sing the songs the way they are on the album. I'd rather you just freestyle some music and whatever come up is what we're going to do.
What you singing?
Whatever I feel like.
What you feel like singing right now? There's a microphone right there in front of you. I'm just saying, it's right there. If you look about 6 inches in front of you.
I see it right there. You see how he tried it, right? He asked for poems, is what he asked for.
You know how we do.
Poems is what he asked for. Oh, like I want it to be fancy, but I won't. I don't know what this world's gonna do, but I know one thing. This is the life for me, baby. I love a thug all day, every day. Baby, I love a thug. Wouldn't change for the world. I love a thug. That's right, you heard. I love a thug. Oh, yeah. On behalf of Trick Daddy.
I had no idea that was a talent you possess.
Well, you know.
So you got a whole lot people don't know.
Well, you know they call you Theresa the Songbird because you weave blankets. That's why. That's why they call you the Songbird. You feel me? I'm a classically trained vocalist. I sing opera and all of that. I sing in like 7 different languages.
Damn,
I produce music.
Learn.
We could go into all day, all the things that Theresa the Songbird does besides poetry.
Didn't know. The things we don't know. All right. The struggle, right? There's a lot of conversation about this right now because we are in this fight for social justice and an extension of civil rights and, in reality, human rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have that speaks to that emotion that we feel coming out of that fight, whatever that emotion might be for you?
Again, with like the trauma bonding, right? Like eventually we got to shake this shit off. Eventually we got to become our own superheroes. Eventually we got to think more of ourselves than the situations we deal with on a regular basis and come to a level of understanding that we are not dealing with a sane opponent.
Say that again.
We're not dealing with a sane or a humane opponent.
She is poetic all day long.
So, you know, in understanding that, like, either you're going to get bogged down, you know, in it, or you're going to rise to the occasion of being your own superhero, of being your own rescue, being your own resource.
Yeah.
You know, he's come to mind a couple of times in this conversation, but you remember all them years ago when Kanye West got into his controversy about, like, Black people and slavery. Like, I understand the controversy and I understand the pushback he got, but I also understand the programming of his own mind that he is attempting to accomplish.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I think it behooves all Black people to get to a place of not separation, but like such reverence for what we've been through that you understand that it's not a stumbling block, it's a springboard.
Yeah.
It's the head of the Sphinx. It is the ultimate foundation upon which to stand.
Yeah.
It should empower you. I always say it wouldn't be so much static if we wasn't so great. You couldn't vex your haters if you wasn't so dope. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have nothing to be mad about if you wasn't so jazzy out here in these streets in the first place.
That's 100.
And I think that is the thing. Like, we got to get over, like, your whole body is meant to be, live in a high vibration. You have to choose that.
Right.
You got to choose to keep the mind in a high vibration.
Your ability to convey words is simply amazing.
That's right.
It is simply amazing.
So I do have a high vibration poem specifically for Black women because, you know, I'm a Black woman.
Right.
And a little bit selfish. And I think it behooves us to be a little bit selfish. We need that sometimes. And I wrote this poem for us because, like, as I stated, it's very often in this world, not just in our own communities, but like as a whole on the globe, Black women are always expected to show up and be a little more and do a little more than whomever else is in the room.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I just need to write a poem for us because, like, we work hard. We work tremendously hard. And sometimes you need that a source to pull from so that you can keep trying, so that you can keep being an example, so that you can keep rising above, right? So with that in mind, we real trill, kill, bill, precision, incision, invincible women, Oshun with a sword. Womb can't afford to have born nothing less than the Lord or more with a double O-R, Black God, Black King. He royal cause he beams from our mothership. We universe and covenant, supernatural sustenance, vitamins and supplements, herbs and seasonings, celestial beings. We planets, planet, implemented planet with the advantage of growing a seed up to be love, and we paid the cost to be the boss with the sauce, so it ain't no love lost. This love ain't meant to lose. This love is built to win. It's coming from within. It's doing it without any shadows of a doubt. We been about this life, manifested manna from the manner of our mandibles, tangible healings, actual miracles. Watching these words work ought to put God's fear in you. It ought to put God's love in you. It ought to put God's trust in you. But you be acting brand new, God, like you never really knew God, like you never knew that you God. And it shows some of y'all got y'all slow caused exposed, and we see you pretending you mended, but baby, your heart ain't in it. Your soul is broken. You barely living. You coasting. This world been choking the life out of you. The bull been beating the fight out of you, and you been knocked up. Oh, but these Black girls got this love that says, baby, you got to get the like a morning mother shoulder shake, like little nigga ain't nobody got time to play. We finna be late. Wake your big ass up, like Folgers in your cup, like Starbucks in your belly, like Chick-fil-A done opened up on a Sunday, type of miracles and blessings. Yes, we are all of that shit. So Black girl, be all of that shit. Be a goddess, be a bitch, be a fairy princess, be a witch, be a president. or at least a vice president. Be a gift, be a present with a presence that uplifts like warm weather. Be indifferent, be indignant, be whatever makes you clever, keeps you happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Do that thing that keeps your edges strong and your booty big and your love light alive. And if one of these suckers has tried you one too many times and you just want to ball up inside, girl, I'm gonna need you to chuck your chin to the sky and keep loving yourself, keep forgiving yourself, keep hugging yourself, cleanse yourself, sage that shit, embrace that shit, get in front of a floor-length mirror, butt naked, baby. You better shake that shit. It's okay. Be a human being. Make mistakes. You just move with grace while you take up space and forget that voice in your head trying to convince you that you're not great, because, girl, you are awesome. You are special. You are helpful. You try harder. You be pushing yourself farther than even you thought you could go. You be in it when your anxiety is crippling and frightening and totally out of control, because you already know this world don't stop turning when it's tears burning in your eyes, or blood trickling from your thighs, or a baby hanging off your breast, or when you've endured all you could and more at the end of stage 4 and you don't have no hair or no breast or no more decidedly identifiably female features left. You still the kind that cares less what the careless a character characterizes qualified. They can't quantify your metaphysics. They can't comprehend your digits, but they keep counting on you to do what you do so well, excel, when they put us at an obvious disadvantage. Somehow we managed to keep on winning. Must be because we phenomenal black women. We've been here since the beginning. We the origins of divas and prima donnas. We the Madonna, the Ma'at, the Makita, the mitochondria Eve, the healer. I'm talking about a Henrietta Lacks kind of black. We got DNA, the most dynamic doctor, still can't crack. We so magic. We so fantastic that those who can't have it and be it would be inclined to try to beat it and be even more malign when we remain undefeated out here dodging demons like Neo in the Matrix. By the way, you know that's a movie that a black woman wrote and created. We amazing. And they hate it because they can't take it. How we be solving it. How we be evolving it. Just by being involved in it. And we got the unmitigated gall of it to be out here being all of it with all your most high melanin Merlin swirling. With your roots watching and follicle curling. Girlfriend, your cocoa glow so. What else are they supposed to do but envy you with all that black girl magic?
Actually required listening for every black woman, probably every black man too, every morning. When did you write that?
Oh, a few years ago. I was doing poetry versus hip hop in Atlanta. I don't know if you've heard of the event.
I've been before.
Yeah. I don't do many contests, but I don't lose many contests. And I lost one.
No doubt you can't lose too many.
I was hot. I was hot about losing. It was like controversial that I lost. I didn't think I lost. Like the sister who made the deciding decision got so much pushback that they had to bring me on another show. And I wasn't supposed to be on that show because you had to win your previous bout to be on the show. But they was like, it was so much static about her bout, we got to do it again. So I wrote this poem right here because I was like, I'm not losing. I am writing a poem that will not lose, period, point blank, the end. So I hacked the audience, really. It's one thing I know for certain and for sure. If you go into a poetry event, period, it's going to be dominatingly populated by women, black women. It's only 2 poems you're going to do for a black woman. A poem about her or a poem about love and relationships. Love, and I had already did. That's what I lost. I lost doing love and relationships.
I'm going to hit them all over the head.
So I was like, I already knew we got to make the black woman feel supreme. So I made myself feel supreme. And by the time I finished it, I was like, oh, this it. We going. They going. And they went. There was no coming back. There's never any coming back. You're not going to come back from
You made me feel
this.
supreme as the father of a young black woman.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. The Wild Black audience is probably listening like, is he going to talk? Like, this is probably the most quiet I've been on any show in a very long time. It's really, it's just no need for me to talk. Right?
Well, I hope they've enjoyed me and my talkative ass self, because I can go.
I've already decided that unless your show is tomorrow, we'll drop this episode before.
Well, great, because the Baltimore show is July 16th, so I got a little time.
Perfect. I got my calendar up in front of me right now, so I can make sure we get this. So you are July 16th.
Yeah, I'm going to be at a private location that is disclosed upon ticket purchase. Because we're trying to keep it cute, right? It's going to be a very, like...
People need to feel good
grounding,
about it from the start to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a very grounding experience. Myself, Archie the Messenger, upcoming singer. Her name is Wifty Bangura.
Right.
Super
dope
dope.
name.
Oh, she gives me the chills. She's so phenomenal. And then another, like a blues guitarist named Q Randall. It's going to be a really good occasion. So, we are encouraging folks to come. It's festival-style seating, so they'll be able to bring their blankets and they throw pillows. We got food vendors and libation vendors, so they won't have to worry about... It's indoor.
Okay, got it.
It's indoor with an outdoor feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to open the windows, but I don't...
You might get a breeze.
You might get a breeze. But that's all you got to worry about. You're not going to have to worry about rain or shine. This event is happening inside. And we do have a few chairs, some VIP seating, just in case. Like my sisters, when I told them about the event, they was like, people gonna be sitting on the floor? But my sisters are so bougie, right? They're so bougie. So for the people who are bougie like my sisters,
we got a couple chairs.
We do have chairs. We have VIP seating for the bougie folks. And I'm not mad at it. Because if it was me, I'd probably been like, take this extra $20 and give me a chair too.
Please. Please.
But we're gonna have a good time either way. And I'll probably be on the floor. I don't plan on wearing no shoes for this occasion. That's how I know it's gonna be good.
I was gonna say, it's good then.
Because I always wear a good pair of high heel shoes. And the fact that I'm finna come in here like Mother Moses.
You at home. That's home.
Yeah.
Man.
That's what the show is called, the Second Home Service.
I know, that's why I worked it in there.
Yeah. That's good work. That's why they pay them the big bucks, people.
With my check.
Yeah, but not so much because even though like Baltimore is one of my second homes, but the show is called that more so because like...
Second home behind the microphone.
Yes, there you go.
I told you, I watched. I paid attention.
There you go.
I was ready.
I'm super comfortable in this place. You know what I mean? Even when I'm uncomfortable, this place, like, this is soothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be behind the mic, to be on stage... I could be sick. I had that. At my last show, my back was thrown out. 20 minutes before the show, I was on my hotel room floor crying, yelling out in pain. I put my makeup on. I went and did that. And as soon as I got on stage, it's like...
It's time.
A euphoria fall. Like, my back was still hurt, but for some reason, I could stand up and walk around.
You cared much less because you had something else you cared much more.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely that.
All right, well,
it's
Theresa,
a magical gift.
This has been an amazing episode. What I want to do is take the last few moments, tell the audience whatever it is that you want to tell them. Please do tell them how to engage with you, how to follow you, how to buy tickets for the upcoming event in Baltimore, and then we'll close out.
Okay, so if you want to buy tickets for the Second Home Service in Baltimore, the best way to do that is you can either go through Eventbrite, secondhomeservice.eventbrite.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, THA Songbird. I'm everywhere at THA Songbird. Follow me on Instagram and you can click the link in the bio and it'll take you right to where you can go and purchase tickets. I think those are the important things, my shameless plug. But the most important thing I want to tell everybody is be kind to yourself. Stop saying that ignorant shit you've been saying to yourself. Stop telling yourself you can't have or what you can't do or what you too big or too small or too dumb for. All of that shit is a lie. You are sent here to be your best self all the time. Be kind to yourself. Talk nice to yourself. Feed yourself nice things. Be kind to your children. Talk nice to your children. Feed your children nice things. And how Tabitha Brown say, if you ain't gonna have no great day, don't call my phone because I kicks people in the throat. I'm certain that's not how she says it.
I think she said a little bit different.
I don't think that's how she says it. I don't think that's how she says it.
But what she means,
but you get my
don't
vibe,
be fucking
right.
up mine.
But that because, poor energy is all energy is infectious.
Right.
And it's your responsibility. If you can't control or if you can't shift your own energy, the best thing you could do is put yourself in energy quarantine. Put you a little face mask on and stay by yourself until you can get yourself together. Or find you somebody who you can trust, who cares about you enough to hold that space with you and help feed your spirit back into a better place. But the world is changing. It's the energy in the world trying to take us out of our our godly self, trying to keep you from being your best self. So stay aware, make high-minded choices, make high vibrating choices, and be kind to yourself.
Wow, Black, I hope you got it. I hope you got it. I hope you got it. Her message at the end is spot on. Be kind to yourself. If you need help, the episode we released right before this one is all about self-help, and it's amazing as well. Go check that one out. Check our episode notes. Her socials will be there, as well as information on her upcoming show. I hope you go check it out. I hope you follow her. I hope you engage with her. And I hope you are made better by the words she shared with you this time around. With that, Wild Black, peace. We out. Love you.